Welcome to the first episode in the Android application development series. My name is Robin, and the aim of this series is just to introduce you to the basic features of an Android application program using the Eclipse IDE software. So in this first episode, I'm going to use a wizard in the Eclipse software to create a new Android application project that can be used on a large percentage of Android devices. So the first thing we need to do is go and find the Eclipse icon and just load that. And as you can see, it's asking me now for a workspace, and the workspace is really just a folder on your computer where all your project folders will be stored. So I'm going to leave it as it is like that and click OK. And it's just loading the workbench now. Okay, so here's IDE just appearing now. As you can see, there's in the left hand corner there is the Package Explorer, and it's got all the different project folders for my different applications all stored there, and again that's in the workspace folder. And you can see on the right we got the outline section here, and when I have an XML file open, it will just break down what's the layout and all the different components in that layout. And then at the bottom we can see the progress section here, and this is just telling me what it's loading really, all the different widgets and layouts and just everything that needs to happen. And then if we go across to the problems bit here, we can see all the warnings and the error messages will appear here, just give me a better understanding of what's going on. And then if we go across to the console as well, again you can see it's just got the Android bit there, and when I actually want to test this application and put it on an emulator or an Android device, it will then tell me if it's installing onto the device and if it's starting an application, or if it's starting or an activity is loading, something like that. And once I'm in the application and it's running on the emulator or the Android device, the logcat will just tell me if there's any problems and what's happening for each activity. So there we go, and if we go to progress, and it's all done now. So what we're going to do now is start a new Android application project. So if we go to File, New, Android application project. Okay, so it needs to come with an application name, so for this case I'm going to have tutorials, and we want to make the package name unique so that later on we can put the application on the marketplace. One way to do this is just to put your name in there, so I'll just have that. Okay, so now it's asking for all these different bits down here. So the minimum required SDK. So an SDK is a software development kit, and it includes everything you need to start developing, testing and debugging Android applications. And then we've got something called API here as well, and that's Application Programming Interfaces. And because there's lots of different Android devices, they all run different versions of the Android platform. For instance, 4.4 is KitKat, and 5.0 I think is Lollipop now. And as these latest devices often come with the latest version of the Android platform, we just to indicate which set of APIs are available for each platform version, it specifies an API level. So for example, we have down here API 19 for the Android platform version 4.4 and stuff like that. So what we're going to select here, I think typically the best thing to use is 8 or 9, because as it says down here, the lower API levels target more devices, and then you can just reach a larger percentage of the Android devices that are available. And then the target SDK, So the next thing, I'm going to leave that as the highest version to just kind of optimize the application. So as we've got here, API 21, that's the highest one, we'll leave that. Same again with the compile, it's just the most recent one's the best to select. And theme, that can just be anything, you can have, it doesn't really matter too much, I'm just going to select none for that. So that's okay, so got our name, it's unique with the package name as well by including my name. Got the minimum required SDK, and we got so it's targeting a lot of devices, and then target and compile with to the most recent one. So that's all fine. We go next. Okay, so it's asking to configure the project now. So it should have already selected your workspace, which it has here. So I'll just leave this as default, and that's fine. Here we go, so it's asking now for the launcher icon. So you can include your own if you wanted to. You've got your own launcher icon for the application. So and this is just the icon that will appear on the Android device, and when it's pressed it will launch the application. So I'm just going to leave it as the default as it is there. Just a little Android icon there. That's fine, let's go next. Okay, so create the activity, got all these different options here. I'm just going to leave it as the blank activity, just as standard. And what happens when it creates an activity, you'll get the XML layout file, which will be activity main, as you can see the layout name there. And then we have also the class that will create as well. So we have the XML, which will be activity main.xml, and then the class that's associated with it will be main activity. And that's fine if we click finish. And just take a while to load. As you can see, the progress bar underneath is just doing everything it needs to do. Just refreshing the folders, there you go. We can see the tutorials package. Well, it's in the package explorer, just the folder, the project folder that we need. And just wait for it to, got the library project as well that's related to it, just loading that all up. And there we go. There we go, we've created a new unique Android application project that can be used on a large percentage of Android devices. And in the next tutorial I'm just going to go over the XML file here.